go, Kim.
All right, fantastic. Thanks everyone for joining us today on our session about the virtual internship experience. My name's Kim, I'm from the Careers and Employability team, and I'm joined by my colleague Caitlin, and we also have Bridget from Pactira joining us as well. So our team's responsible for managing different employability programs, such as the virtual internship experience for you all. And Bridget from Pactira are the partnering organisation who will be delivering this internship experience for us. So before we kick off, I'd just like to acknowledge and celebrate the first Australians on whose traditional lands we meet, and also pay respects to the elders past and present. And just a little bit of housekeeping before I hand over to Bridget to deliver today's session. We will have some time for questions at the end, so I'll ask you to listen to the whole presentation first, and then if you have any questions at the end, feel free to pop them in the chat, or if you'd like to take yourself off mute and you can ask your question then. And during the presentation, I'll ask you to keep your mics off, just so we don't have any background noise, things like that. All right, I'll hand over to you now, Bridget. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim, and hi everyone. It's lovely to almost see you today. What we're going to do is just run through, like Kim said, what the virtual internship experience is, what the benefits are that you'll get out of it, and hopefully answer any questions you might have. So I'll just start sharing my screen. Hope I've picked the right one there. I'm thinking that looks like the right one. So see how we go. There we go. So what is this program about? So the virtual internship experience is a three-week remote work experience where you work in teams as a consultant. So you will be a consulting team and you solve a business challenge for a real organization. The program dates are there. So you are required to attend orientation on the 22nd of November. And then the program delivery itself is the 28th of November through to the 16th of December. So why should you participate in a program like this? Well, according to the 2021 and actually the 2022 as well, which has just been released, Australian Association of Graduate Employers, all employers assess their candidates for their communication skills and believe this is important in their selection decision. So that is 100% of everyone surveyed. Teamwork comes in at 98% and interpersonal skills at 97%. When we talk about interpersonal skills, that's what you and I know as employability skills. And that covers things like problem solving, adaptability, decision-making, collaboration, remaining calm under pressure, all of those skills that you need to be successful in your day-to-day work at university, but most definitely in your careers moving forward. We also know that skills including leadership, critical thinking and communication have been identified as the most important skills in the next 5 years. And my favourite little piece of knowledge around this is that Australian businesses have said that they'd actually be willing to pay 7% more for workers who have these skills. So we know that these skills are things that everyone is looking for as you enter the graduate market, and opportunities like this give you the experience to be able to not only just try them, but to develop them as well. As we move into what is now rapidly becoming the future of work, or just our work, we have soft skills intensive occupations are going to account for 2/3 of all jobs by 2030, and that's compared to only half of those jobs in 2000. And the number of jobs in what is considered soft skill intensive occupations is expected to grow at 2.5 times the rate of jobs in other occupations. So this is important stuff, these skills, these employability skills. And through participating in experiences like this, you're going to have the opportunity to apply the technical skills that you're learning at university. You're going to be able to develop your employability skills, and you're going to contribute to solving a real world challenge for your client. And all of this combined in an experience like this provides you with evidence of your skills. And you can then use this in your interviews, you can use it on your CV, and you can use it in your e-portfolio. So experiences like this provide you with the experience to talk about as you go through the interview process. And this is how it actually works. So it is 3 weeks. You do receive the project brief beforehand, and the orientation session will be held the week before. You then develop a project plan, you would submit a draft report, and then you would do the final report and presentation. Across that time frame, you will submit your draft report first to your mentor for feedback and then to your client for feedback. It comes back to you to take on board that feedback and to rejig a little bit what you've done. It goes back through your mentor and back through the client. So we do that feedback cycle twice. There are a number of different projects that you could be doing. You don't get to choose the project, but you could be doing the marketing effectiveness. You could do a social media strategy. There is new market entry. There is comparative evaluations and competitor analysis, impact analysis, shared value, which is a bit more of the sustainable impact, and product services and competitiveness. So anything like that is something that you might be asked to do for your organization. So as the student consultants, you are asked to commit 50 hours across the 3 weeks, and that is 50 hours each. You will submit the 3 deliverables. So that is the draft report, the final report, and the presentation. And you need to make sure that you are working as part of a team. And that means it is self-directed and independent work. It's important that you do work as a team because you're each going to be matched dependent on your skill set, and all the unique and diverse elements that you bring as an individual. You are deliberately matched in that team. It is not random. So you make sure that you do have a conversation with your teammates, work out what their skill sets are, their area of interest, their background, because all of it's going to be essential to being successful in your deliverables. As a team, you also need to decide how you spread those 50 hours because some people are going to be better suited to different tasks. So sometimes it might be worth saving some of their hours to the end to polish the report, and maybe someone else might do the majority of the research. So again, it's really about understanding your team dynamic. Your mentors are there to support you and your team. They're going to review that first draft and they will give you coaching for the presentation. The client provides that industry project. They will attend a client meeting with you, and then they provide feedback throughout. So your mentor is your go-to person, they're your support, whereas your client is really your client in this situation. And at the end of it all, if you have absolutely committed your 50 hours, if you've attended the orientation and the briefing session, so the client briefing session, if you've submitted all the team and individual project deliverables, including the final report, you will receive a digital badge and an e-certificate that you can showcase on your LinkedIn and again on your e-portfolio. Here's an example of some of our clients who have participated in the past. You'll see that there is a range that comes from startups, there are the small to medium enterprises, and then we have some of the big four and the bigger organizations in there as well. Key dates to remember and pop into your calendar. So you must register to do this by the 16th of October. You do need to attend that virtual orientation on the 22nd of November, and that will be between 3 and 4 p.m. You must also attend the client briefing, which will be held on the 28th of November, and that is from 3 till 4:30 p.m. And of course, you have to be available to actually do the consulting project, and that is from the 28th of November through to the 16th of December. So they're the main bits and pieces. From here, you are able to follow that QR code and it will take you through to the website where you can register. There is also the URL there that you can use. And other than that, I will stop sharing and be very, very happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Fantastic. Thanks, Bridget. Does anyone have any questions? Please pop them in the chat, or do feel free to, raise your microphone and speak up. No problems at all. This is a safe space. But we will give you a moment to type if that's the case.
Yes.
Which is always the awkward part. So
It is.
It is. So I'll just kind of do some filler. So you can register or apply now for your place in the virtual internship experience. It is by application. We are looking at, a myriad of students, and if you've already been on the website and had a look, eligibility, very hard to say quickly, requirements are pretty broad, I think it's safe to say. So hopefully everyone here has looked at that, but I will run through since we're waiting for questions. So eligibility requirements, any current undergraduate students who have done at least 24 units of their degree. So that's a semester by the end of the year. That is the same for postgraduate coursework students, for honours students, for HDR students, and then students with a Jabal Indigenous Higher Education Centre as well. So does everyone I have a question here and I will read it. Does everyone who attended this meeting get the chance to participate in this program? So that's a really, really good question. So we have a certain number of places. So not everyone here today will apply, I'm sure. Hopefully you all do. So that is one thing to kind of note. But we only have a certain number of places. So it will be by application. And in the application, we have, a set number of questions. And we are looking at, I guess you'd say it is a competitive application process to a point, but the eligibility requirements are rather broad. So a bit of a trade-off. Now, there are plenty of positions on offer, so don't get too caught up in that. Definitely the name of the game is if you don't apply, you won't be considered, basically, so please apply. Who are the mentors? That is another question. So that's actually something I can answer again. Sorry, Bridget, it's all us.
Go for it.
The mentors are actually ANU alum. So they are people that we've either worked with before during our Momentum initiative, or they are mentors who mentored during VI last year. They are, big in business and they've got a lot of experience. So getting exposure to those sorts of people is, exposure second to none. So it's very special. Is the virtual internship available for international students? Absolutely. And I'm shouting that in capital letters. Absolutely, please. It's open to everyone, domestic and international, HDR and coursework. So please do consider. Now, while I applied and registered, can you choose more than one option? That's not applicable to the virtual internship experience. It is just one experience and one thing you are applying for. And Bridget, just to kind of divert a little bit, we have a CBE internship program. This is separate. This is a not for credit opportunity, the virtual internship experience, not for credit, but it is a free experience for our students. So just note, it is a different application process to the CBE internship process for everyone here. Does this project have any necessary requirements for the applicant? So English level or Excel level. So that's not the case, Bridget. Everyone's kind of included. It's our eligibility criteria. Everyone's welcome. Yeah,
absolutely.
Perfect. Now, this is a good question. This will be for you, Bridget. Yay. Can we arrange the 50 hours by ourselves? Or is the time schedule stipulated? Like, can I do it only at night? What are the arrangements, would you say?
So you would organise that with your team. Yes, you do organise that yourself. And we do take into account, we would expect you to take into account different time zones if you've got people from all over the world as well. So we're very conscious that some people are working while others are sleeping and vice versa. Some people are at university, some people have casual jobs and all the rest of it. So it's up to you to manage your time and do whatever is going to fit best for you. I'll just touch on a question that's come through to me as well on that. So within that 50 hours, is the client briefing time included? And yes, it is. So any time that you spend working on this project, which would include the orientation, it includes the client briefing, it in turn includes thinking about it, doing some research, chatting to your teammates, all of that is inclusive in that 50 hours. Absolutely, like any job.
Definitely. And I think I will kind of reflect on that, generally speaking, if you're in a professional job, you're working maybe 40 hours a week, maybe more. So I kind of want to say it's very doable along with, I think, a casual job, or if you're doing a summer session subject, for example. So it is very doable. I have another question that we've kind of touched on. Now, the organisations you work with, Bridget, they're all across Australia, right? Not just in
Correct.
Canberra, or not even Canberra, maybe?
Correct. Yes, they are all across Australia, and there may be some in Canberra, but there may not be as well. So, yeah.
Fantastic. And that's something we find out when we get onboarded, right?
Yes. So once you have attended the orientation, so that's the first step, is you actually must attend the orientation. We then place all the students who have attended into their team, and you will receive the project brief, which includes an introduction to your client following that.
Yeah, fantastic. So there's a question more, well, for you, Bridget, I think here. Now, I'll just answer part of it. It's about when you have to apply, and that is by the 16th of October. So I hope that answers your question there. And you will, everyone here today will get an email to remind them to apply. But the question for you, Bridget, is the team, and I think we've vaguely touched on it, is the team randomly chosen, or do students choose?
So it's actually neither of them. So no, you can't, the students can't choose, but nor is it randomly chosen. So we have a look at the students who are sent through to us, and the information that we receive. We deliberately team by diversity. So what we're looking for is a lot of different backgrounds, a lot of different nationalities, a lot of different degrees, if we've got that combination, female, male, anything like that that we can use, because we know that diverse teams make better decisions. And that is a proven fact. So the more diverse the team, the more broad the vision, the more creative. And that's what we put the teams together based on.
Yeah, fantastic. And, you know, in the real world, we're working with all sorts of people. So it's really, really good. So there's a question for me, for us. I'm doing my first semester of postgraduate. Is this qualified for the 24 credits? Yes. So as long as you're completing 24 units by the end of this year, you are allowed and eligible for the internship experience. So do apply. So there is another question here, again, that we vaguely touched on. Do all team members share the 50 hours participation, or is each person down for 50 hours?
Yeah. So each person is down for 50 hours.
Yeah.
But don't get put off by that. So 50 hours, it's not strict. Some teams are going to go over that, and some individuals are going to go over that. Some are going to be under that. At the end of the day, it's about the deliverable. It's about what you're being asked to produce, and you want to make sure that you do the right thing by your client. So as long as you've met the brief and you've done that to the best of your ability, the 50 is an estimate. That's what we think you'll need in order to do the best thing by your client.
Fantastic. So the internship is about writing a report. Could you speak on how many words are expected, what that kind of report vaguely looks like?
It's twofold. So it is a report, but it is also a presentation. So you do present your findings back to the client as well. And there are some templates and examples that we have hosted on the platform to show you. So you're not starting from scratch in that respect. A good report is one that is not just words. So a good report has graphs, it has pictures, it might utilize the branding colors of the organization that you're working with. So we're looking for something that's quite engaging in that respect. And what we then would say is don't double handle. So the work that you're putting into your report is going to be reflective in your presentation, but more on the solution focus. So your report is the research base, and your presentation is more the recommendation that you will do. And again, just utilizing the same graphs, the same color scheme, if that's what you've gone with. We recommend using things like Canva to really kind of get the pop on your report. So there's no real word count per se. Again, it's just addressing the need of your client, but we do have examples that you can have a look at in there.
Perfect. Fantastic. So for everyone here, I have put an application link in the chat box. Hopefully you've all picked it up by now. But as I said, everyone here will be emailed a link anyway. And we will place this recording online as well, so you can watch it back if you feel the need. So our next question, do we have a workplace or is it online? It's all in the name. It's 100% virtual and online. Yeah. That one was easy. Love the easy questions. What materials do we need to answer to prepare for the application? nothing terribly difficult. We are asking you to do I think it's like a 60-second video about why you'd like to take up the opportunity. We're really keen to know what this opportunity can give you. As I said, we do have a number of places, but it is a competitive application process. We want to make sure the people are getting a lot out of the experience. Has someone got a question? Oh, that's right. It might have just been an accident of the microphone. So I do have a question here. If I'm graduating at the end of the year, am I still eligible for the program? With regards to this question, it's a really, really good question. We would treat those on a case-by-case basis. So I would still welcome you to apply if you are graduating at the end of the year. And we'll have a look at that personally. Okay, some more questions. How big are the teams, Bridget?
So they range again. So the maximum number of people in a team would be 7. And generally the minimum, we really don't even like to do 3s. So between 4 and 7 is generally what you get. Yeah.
Perfect. The sweet spot.
Yeah.
So for eligibility requirements, yes, honours students, HDR students, students doing MPhils or Masters by Research are very welcome to apply. Absolutely. There is a question here. Is there any chance for further employment by the employer after finishing the virtual internship? I'd probably say, I'd start off, Bridget, by saying this is not kind of an experience to go into if your expectation is something. But Bridget, do you have anything to say on that one?
No, I would agree with that. Having said that, our relationship ends at the end of this experience. So if you happen to form a fabulous bond and you and the client have decided that there's future work to do, there's nothing stopping that from happening, but it's not part of what this experience is. This is a self-contained experience.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if the expectation is not there. Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm an undergraduate student, first semester of 3 years. Can you apply for this internship? Absolutely. So as long as you finished 24 units, so that's 4 subjects, so a full-time study load in this semester, it's absolutely fine. Okay, I think we've gotten through all the questions. Oh wait, no, there's one more. Yay. Yes, I'm a postgrad student, but it said I must choose more than one option. Yes. So when you do go to apply, and Bridget, maybe if you don't mind me hijacking the presentation for a second.
Go for it.
Yeah, let's do it. I can just show people briefly into the application. Might as well while we're here. You'll see here that my version is a draft. What you need to do, it can be a bit tricky filling this portion out. If I am an undergraduate student or a postgraduate student or a Jabal student, I also have to say I'm enrolled in an ANU academic program. Everyone should be typing that. This is for CBE students, unless they are a Jabal Indigenous Higher Education student. And then you are either an undergraduate student, a postgraduate student, an honours student, or an HDR student. So this top box is always filled out, and then you can choose from there. Okay, so hopefully that clears it up for everyone. From here, you'll see it's the usual kind of details that we require. And then the next page is going into the kind of long answer information that we need. Okay, so I'll go back to questions. There's one question here. Is there a virtual internship like this during the next winter session? Unfortunately not. So at this moment, this is the only chance we have to do the virtual internship. And we have made this experience happen after exams so that we can make the most of it for students. Yeah. Okay. I think that's all the questions for now. So we'll just give it a minute. Oh, Bridget, you're on mute, sorry.
You'd think by now. I just had one more that came through to me, which was, must I attend the client meeting on the 28th of November? And the answer is yes. So that is considered compulsory, basically, unless there is a very compelling reason. And if there is a compelling reason, you're welcome to let us know that. The other thing I will say too, when you do attend the client briefing, the expectation is that you are cameras on and that you are talking. So it is a professional meeting. You will be dressed in a professional way, your background will be professional, and your camera must be on. So just want to make you aware of that too, because your client will be there.
Yeah, no, that's a really, really good point, Bridget. Absolutely. You know, this is a professional experience, and everyone should be treating it as such, as a chance to kind of build, you know, on their personal brand, their reputation, and their experience as well as part of that. So, you know, if you don't feel you're quite ready for that yet, then, you know, maybe have a think, and you can talk to us about that, to Kim or I, and, you know, consider, you know, where you're at, and to know as well that, you know, it does take a commitment of your time, so that, you know, if you're questioning whether you can commit that time, best to kind of think about it beforehand rather than during, and find that you're kind of scrambling around. Now I've gotten a couple of questions that I would say it might be best if you've got some particular questions to email us. I'll just pop, Kim, would you mind popping in the careers email address in the chat? Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
And yeah, you can email us with your particular questions so we can get through those, because I think some are just a bit personal. And yes, we can go through that. So there is someone here who has said, do we need to prepare a suit, our style of dress? Bridget, what's your best advice for kind of looking the part?
Yeah, you certainly don't need a suit, and we would not advise you to go and purchase anything specifically for this either. Definitely not. A good rule of thumb, if you have something that is a plain color, just wear that. If you have something with a collar like a t-shirt, that's a really good way of going about it. But nothing super formal. So we do smart casual a lot. I'm in a like basically a t-shirt today, right? So, but I still look quite professional, I think. And that's all you need to do. So, but yeah, a good rule of thumb is just a standard dark color or a plain color, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, definitely.
No caps.
No, that's right. Hats off.
Hats off.
Hats off. Definitely. So those with eligibility questions, please do email us. As I said, there are some kind of personal questions that probably don't suit the forum we're in right now. So please do email us. Kim and I will reply to you ASAP. I don't see any more questions come through, so we'll give it a couple of seconds more, or please feel free to raise your microphone at this point, because I will aim to finish the session in 2 minutes. Oops, and there's Siri telling me 2 minutes doesn't work. Sorry, everyone.
Interesting question.
See, she's the boss of me. Oh no, this is not good. Fantastic. So hopefully I don't see any more questions. Okay, I will wrap up at 2:31. Hopefully before Siri starts bossing me around in front of everyone on my watch, which would be terrible. Yeah, so I do have a question here. How can we connect with our mentor after starting the virtual internship?
Sure. So you will be introduced to your mentor at the client briefing along with your client, which is partly why it's so important that you do attend that session as well. They will provide you with their email address and their best way of contact, and you will take it from there. We also recommend that following the experience, you link in with them so that you can continue that relationship like you should be with your teammates and everyone else there too. But yes, you will be introduced to them.
Yeah, fantastic, fantastic. Yes, and it's always good to kind of keep up with the connections you make, and obviously LinkedIn is kind of the easiest way to do that. Fantastic. So I have a question here about the template of a resume. I'll do a quick plug for the work that Kim and I and our colleagues do. You can always come to us and we can do a resume review to help make that ready for you. But the ANU Careers Toolkit is a really good resource that will help you put together a resume. And there's plenty of information online if you go to good websites like seek.com or Indeed that will help with templates and stuff like that as well. But that is something Kim, myself, can help you with as well. Fantastic. So we've hit the 2 minute mark. I'll end everything now. Any more questions, please email careers, but we will email you to remind you to apply for the internship, because we'd love to have you there. Thank you so much, Bridget, for
thank you for
being here
having me.
today. Really appreciate it. We've gotten through some good info, and we'll see you around. Thanks,
Indeed.
everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.